All right, let's talk about taking your reloading from just a hobby to a true precision craft. And the secret isn't about buying more expensive gear, it's about mastering what you already have. So today, we're diving deep into maintenance, which is really the bedrock of consistency, accuracy, and safety on your reloading bench.
Okay, so here's the game plan. We're going to start with why this is all so critical, then cover the golden rules that apply to literally everything on your bench. After that, we'll break down the specific care for your press, your precision tools, and your prep equipment. And then we'll wrap it all up with a solid long-term care plan.
So let's get right to it. Why does any of this even matter? Well, because in reloading, the stakes are pretty high, right? We're dealing with incredibly tight tolerances and, let's be honest, controlled explosions. The condition of your equipment isn't just some minor detail, it's the absolute foundation of everything you do.
Let me ask you something. Is it possible that your own tools are secretly working against you? A tiny bit of hidden grit, a mechanism that's just a little sticky, or a small spot of rust you haven't noticed. These things seem minor, but they can have a huge impact on the quality and safety of your ammo.
And, the difference is night and day. On one side, you've got neglected gear. That leads to inconsistent loads, your tools wearing out way too fast, and a serious risk of malfunctions. But on the other side, with just a little bit of maintenance, you get precision, you get longevity from your tools, and, most importantly, enhanced safety. The choice, well, it's pretty clear. So how do we get there? It all starts with three simple, universal rules that apply to every single tool on your bench. Think of these as the fundamental habits that form the backbone of a really solid maintenance routine.
First, keep your workspace clean. Dust, spilled powder, and grit are the enemies of precision. They'll cause wear, and they'll throw off your measurements for sure. Second, handle your steel parts with clean hands. Trust me on this. The oils from your skin can and absolutely will cause rust over time. And third, avoid moisture like the plague. It is the #1 killer of your equipment. A simple little desiccant pack in your tool cabinet can save you a world of headache. Now, let's zoom in on the heart of your reloading bench, the real engine of your whole operation, the press itself. This is the tool doing all the heavy lifting, and it needs consistent care to run smooth as butter. What I love about this is how it breaks maintenance down into totally manageable tasks. The vast majority of care, like 60% of it, is just a quick wipe down after each use. The rest is split between some periodic checks and a deep clean you do once a year. When you see it like this, it's not overwhelming at all, is it? So what does that daily 60% actually look like? It's super simple, just 2 steps. Every single time you finish a session, take a dry cloth, wipe down the frame, get all that powder and primer dust off. Then, grab a small brush and clear out any grit from around the ram and in the primer catch. That's it. We're talking maybe 2 minutes of work that prevents major problems down the line. Then you've got your weekly or monthly checks, depending on how often you reload. Wipe down the ram, maybe use a mild solvent, but only if it feels sticky. Next, lubricate the pivot points, but, and this is so important, use only a thin layer of light oil. Too much oil is just a magnet for dust and grit, and it'll turn into this nasty grinding paste that actually wears your press out faster. Finally, just give the mounting bolts a quick check to make sure everything's nice and tight.
Okay, so we've got the engine tuned up. Now let's talk about the instruments where the real magic happens, where your accuracy is actually born. We're talking about your dies, your powder measure, and your scale. Any neglect here is going to translate directly to inconsistent ammo. Over time, your dies get gunked up with lube, carbon, and brass shavings, and that stuff can start scratching your cases. So you want to give them a good cleaning every 500 to 1,000 rounds. Just take them apart, spray the inside with a good solvent, scrub them out with a nylon brush, and make absolutely sure they're completely dry. Then, to finish up, put a light coat of rust prevention oil on the outside.
And I'm going to pause here for a second because this is so important. Do not oil the inside of your dies. Any oil on the inside is going to contaminate your powder and your primers. It'll make them useless or, even worse, dangerous. Keep the oil on the outside only, period. All right, moving on to the powder measure. The 2 big rules here are simple. Keep it dry and keep it static-free. Always empty the powder back into its original container. Never leave it in the hopper. And here's a great pro tip. Wipe the inside of the hopper with a dryer sheet. It gets rid of static cling and helps the powder flow way more smoothly. And just like with the dies, no oil on the moving parts. It makes the powder clump up. Use alcohol to clean it instead. Your scale is your source of truth for your powder charges, so taking care of it is simple but totally vital. Keep it covered so it doesn't get dusty, and keep it away from any drafts or vibrations that can throw off your readings. When you do clean it, just use a soft brush or a dry cloth. Never, ever, ever use oils or solvents on it. You can permanently damage the sensitive guts inside. We've covered the stars of the show, so let's talk about the supporting cast. All those case prep tools that make sure your brass is perfectly ready for loading. And this slide just shows you how quick and easy this stuff is. For your case trimmer, just brush out the brass shavings and put a little oil on the cutter for clean cuts. Your priming tool? Brush out that corrosive primer dust so it doesn't gym up. Your chamfer tool? Quick brush, light oil, no rust. And your tumbler? Just swap out the media when it gets dirty. See? Simple actions that give you consistent results. Okay, let's wrap this all up by zooming out and looking at the long game. This is all about protecting your investment with some smart storage and a simple annual checkup. Your best defense against long-term damage is just smart storage. Keep your tools in a dry spot, maybe throw in some desiccant packs. Keep your dies in their original boxes. If you live somewhere humid, a small dehumidifier is a fantastic investment. And honestly, even a simple dust cover for your press can work wonders. And here's your annual plan, broken down by quarters so it doesn't feel like a huge project. First quarter, do a full deep clean of your dies. Second quarter, give your press a really thorough inspection, looking for wear. Third quarter, order and replace any little parts that are getting worn out. And fourth quarter, do a full bench cleanup. This simple cycle resets all your gear back to peak condition for the year ahead. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this. Consistent maintenance isn't a chore. It's the bridge that takes you from getting kinda, sorta okay results to achieving true expert-level precision and safety. So, I'll leave you with this one question to think about. After all this, what is the one simple maintenance habit you're going to start doing today? Whether it's just wiping down your press or finally putting a dust cover on it, starting that habit right now is what really matters. Thanks for tuning in.